There's no getting around the fact that crouch sliding takes practice. Proper execution requires some knowledge of each map, learning the distances between ledges, and how to handle doorways and thresholds when making your way from one item to the next. But more so than practice and map knowledge, fast and precise crouch slides are a symptom of good mechanics, or to put it plainly, how comfortable you are with your keybinds, sensitivity, and overall config. When it comes to sensitivity, it seems like everyone makes the same mistake. They fixate completely on their aim and nothing else, as if aim is the one and only metric that matters. This is the danger of spending too much time playing Unholy Trinity. It's fun, but it places way too much importance on aim when Quake is about so much more. So I'd like to suggest another approach. Focus on your movement first and your aim later. Try setting a sensitivity that allows you to easily look and move around how you wish you could if aim wasn't an issue. Hop around in a map by yourself while pretending your aim doesn't matter, imagining that you can hit the shots you need to hit whenever you choose. Assume this so you can forget about aim. Then, set your sensitivity in a way that allows you to strafe jump and crouch slide around maps with complete ease. I know it sounds crazy, but give it a try. When you're speeding through a map at 100 miles per hour, effortlessly clipping corners and beating opponents into position over items, you'll be shocked at how you just magically deal more damage. This is because good movement puts you 1 to 2 steps ahead of your opponent, whereby their movement and thinking becomes predictable. You'd be surprised how a sensitivity that, while may not be ideal for hitting flickshot rails and pixel-perfect LG tracking, but is good for movement, ends up netting you higher damage and frags over the long run. But all that is built off of how easy you've managed to make movement for yourself when it comes to getting around a map. And that means non-conflicting button layouts, a proper sensitivity, and even your mouse and keyboard setup. So try setting your keybinds in a way that best liberates your movement. And beyond your movement and weapon binds, be sure to consider the 4 secondary functions: jump, crouch, zoom, and usability. You also have to consider how free your binds allow you to play. And while this may sound strange, it will take some time to tell if you are consistently getting the most out of your movement, and if so, how effortless is this for you? If you're putting a lot of energy and concentration into every single circle jump or getting from one end of the map to the other, ask yourself if you just need practice or if your config is holding you back. I'll give you an example of what I mean. I use RDFG as my movement binds, and for the longest time, I was only using my thumb to hit spacebar to jump and nothing else. I'd never trained my thumb's muscle memory to press B or V or C while using the middle of my thumb to press spacebar. But after having learned this, I was able to free up a button in my config and start using my pinky to hit crouch. This felt extremely natural right away, and crouch sliding started to feel like butter after a couple of hours of practice. But before learning how to use my thumb on more than just hitting the spacebar, I was going between mouse 5 and mouse 3 for crouch. Both were bad because my FK1's wheel is hard to press in, and mouse 5 is too far forward on my mouse, so they were affecting my aim, and it just wasn't working. So when I say that your config should give you a feeling of liberation when you've learned the technique for getting the most out of Quake's movement mechanics, this is what I mean. Smooth, precise movements with little effort. And that little effort should feel completely natural. Here are some simple jumps you can try to get the most out of a single crouch slide. I call these circle slides because they use the same mechanic as circle jumps, only holding crouch. Note that while Slash and Strog have the same speed cap of 750 UPS, Slash can hit her speed cap with a single crouch slide while Strog cannot. Also, Slash has a much higher cap on her slide's distance than Strog. Like I said earlier, if you already understand the technique for gaining speed when strafe jumping, then you simply need to learn the timing for pressing, holding, and releasing crouch. Remember, the length of time you are able to slide is dependent on vertical speed, or the height of a fall, not the lateral speed or UPS that you are traveling at. Once you've hit the ground, hold forward and simply rotate your crosshair and strafe in the direction you want to slide in. If you want to go in a straight line, you need to be rotating your crosshair from left to right in unison with your left and right strafes in order to get the most distance out of your crouch slide. The reason why this technique extends the length of a crouch slide is because you build speed by turning into your strafes while crouch sliding. Look, I get it. Relearning keybinds, adjusting to a new sensitivity, trying different game modes, it all just takes the fun out of the game. But in reality, we have nothing to lose but our own shortcomings. And I don't mean that as an indictment on your entire playstyle, only as reassurance that if you do try to change things up and decide that these changes just aren't for you, you can always go back. After all, I'm not here to ruin the game for you, on the contrary. I want to make it easier for you to achieve the results you're aiming for. Well, that about wraps it up for this one. Let me know your thoughts and what you're struggling with in your config down below. This video was actually requested by a viewer, and when I first sat down to start writing about movement and crouch sliding, I realized that those two things were just symptoms of a solid config and forcing the right habits. So I hope this helps point you in that direction. Be sure to like and subscribe, as that really helps me grow, and share my content if you know others that need the help. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.